Hello everyone and welcome to WGBS TV Live, brought to you by SupermanHomepage.com, the number one Superman fan site in the world. In this, our November 26, 2019 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including some information about Superman movies, if they're going to make one. We're going to be talking about casting calls for the Superman and Lois TV series. We're going to be talking about Crisis on Infinite Earths, comic books, and so much more. We're also going to turn to you to take your questions and comments on any particular Superman topic you would like to discuss. And to let you know how all that works and how you can get involved in tonight's show, let me introduce you to my co-host, waiting patiently next to me, but on the other side of the world, Mr. Michael Bailey. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Steve. How's it going?
Oh, well.
Oh, that's good. Now, WGBS Live is all about Superman. And because of that, we want to hear from the Superman fans that are watching us live on YouTube. So to do that, you're going to need Skype. Get on Skype, find Superman homepage, and message us. And if we have time, around halfway through the show, we'll try to get you on. We've had some problems with that lately, but we're hoping to get that all kind of taken care of. Now, a couple things about that. Message us. Don't just call us, because that can really screw up the call and make things more difficult for the people watching live. Also, if you have external speakers and that's how you're listening to us talk, please turn the volume down, because we are on a delay, and that can present a bit of a problem. But other than that, we'd like to hear from you in any way you can.
Yes, so get involved in tonight's show. And for those of you tuning in live via YouTube, we invite you to join in and post your comments in the comments there with fellow people who are watching the show along with you. Michael and I will keep an eye on those comments and questions and react to them as the show goes on. And a huge thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. We appreciate your support. Well, Mike, Black Friday coming up for you, being in the retail industry, probably a bit of a crazy week.
Just more of just getting ready for it, not knowing what to expect. A couple of years ago, it was a big deal. It seems to be less and less of one, because people can buy stuff pretty much wherever they want to now. So it's retail. I mean, we're just more getting ready for Thanksgiving here in the States.
Yep.
As some of the people who John Patrick Van Pelt actually wished us a happy Thanksgiving, even though you guys aren't going to be eating turkey on Thursday. Well, you can eat turkey on Thursday. There's just not public pressure to do so.
That's right. The turkeys are, I believe, heading to Australia as we speak for safety reasons. So yes, they seeking asylum here, but we don't do Thanksgiving here. It's obviously an American holiday, but wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving who celebrates it. And don't go crazy on Friday and Cyber Monday and all those other days of sales. If you can, kind of hold yourself back. Although there is a Christopher Reeve cape available that you might want to save up your money for, which we'll get into a little bit later on.
They're saving up money, and then they're paying what the opening bid for that thing is. And then if somebody in the audience right now can just bid on that willy-nilly, support the show.
Yeah. If you've got that kind of cash to splurge, then throw us some.
So.
All right, well, let's get into the movie side of the topics that we like to discuss tonight. And I guess the kind of this story, or these little bit of stories, came about because J.J. Abrams and his Bad Robot production company signed a mega deal with Warner Brothers. So people started looking at, what will he get involved in? And because he has been previously involved with Superman, he's done Star Wars, he's done Star Trek, he's been involved in pretty much every product and property that's out there. He had a failed attempt at a Superman script back in early 2000s. So people were speculating, could he be involved in a Superman movie with Warner Brothers? It started off, Rolling Stone magazine interviewed him and asked him, because he's got some Superman toys around his production office, about any immediate plans for Superman. And he said, not quite convincingly, according to Rolling Stone magazine, we haven't had those discussions yet.
it's kind of funny where they start putting like two and two together. Like initially it was Warner Brothers is looking for someone for Superman. J.J. Abrams has a first refusal deal or first look deal or whatever the Hollywood lingo for that is.
Mm-hmm.
And, then Rolling Stone does their interview and they say he's not convincingly. How do we know? It's not an audio interview.
Yeah.
It's the perceptions of the interviewer. I am of the opinion that Abrams is the wrong person for this. I think mainly because if they are considering him and they're releasing the things that they're releasing right now, which is saying we're trying to find a way to make him relevant for today, every time they say that, it goes horribly, horribly wrong. Maybe not as Man of Steel, not as bad, but Batman v Superman, I think, pushed it a little too far.
Mm-hmm.
J.J. Abrams' script, now it's a script, so scripts are a blueprint, as one of the producers of the 1989 Batman said. It's a blueprint. It's not. It's constantly evolving. That's why it's called filmmaking. But he had terrible ideas for Superman. Lex Luthor was going to be a CIA agent, but might be an alien who also has superpowers. Their Krypton didn't explode. They sent Kal-El away to, I guess, save him from some assassination attempt, and some banker or their landlord tries to get frisky with Martha Kent. He burns him with the heat vision, and there's a big fight over the streets of Metropolis. And at the end of the first movie, he goes back to Krypton to fight a civil war because Star Wars. It's all... And some people are like, well, that sounds really cool. Yeah, for an Elseworld story. For like a 3-issue prestige format series that I don't have to pay attention to. But if this is what you're going to be pushing as the big budget, look, you've had 2 bites at this apple in the past 15 years. You've done decently with it, but you've not gotten anything that has really grabbed everybody. Now, this isn't to discount people who are fans of Superman Returns.
Mm-hmm.
Or who are fans of Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, because, as I've been banging on about on Twitter lately, I'm not here to yuck your yum, but if my opinion is asked, I'm going to give it. That's kind of the point of this show. I'm not saying that you shouldn't like it. If you like it, that's fine. It's not my cup of tea, but I also think that every poor decision with the movie side of it comes from them going, why is this character relevant? How can we make this character relevant when they don't really understand what that even means?
So true. There are so many things that they could go, so many directions they could go with Superman. I think most Superman fans, or diehard Superman fans, people who consider themselves, Superman fans before anything else, not just, comic book fans or not just movie fans, want to see something that is... sticks true to the source material as far as the comic books are concerned. And when we say that, it could be any of those versions. There are so many comic book stories out there, but something that's more true to the core of the character, the basics, Daily Planet, Clark Kent, Lois Lane, Perry White, the Kents, Metropolis, kind of just an adventure story that is it doesn't have to be so edgy and relevant to today's society, or bring up any topics that are necessarily relevant. Just a great adventure story, and there's so many comic book stories that they could go on. I keep seeing things like Panic in the Sky as an idea for a Superman film. So it doesn't have to be something that's too disconnected from the what people recognize as being Superman. As you mentioned, J.J. Abrams wrote a script back in 2002 titled Superman Flyby. It detracted, got away from what many people would recognize as being Superman. Look, I would be okay with Abrams being involved from a directorial point of view, but don't put him anywhere near a script.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a flair for the visual.
Mm-hmm.
And Superman movies have a history of lens flare. Going back to the first Superman film when he's chasing rockets, there was a lot of lens flare things on there. I didn't. I've only seen the first Star Trek film he did. I did not see Into Darkness.
Neither did
And
I.
when I saw that Star Trek film, I thought, hey, this looks like a really good Star Wars film. And his Star Wars movie wasn't terrible. The more I watch it, the more flaws I find with it, because I was just so nostalgic the first time I saw it. It's just he doesn't seem to understand fundamentally properties that have kind of a meaning behind them. Jon Stewart interviewed him on The Daily Show, not the Green Lantern Jon Stewart, the host of The Daily Show, Jon Stewart, or former host. And I think it was on that show that he was basically like, I'm making a Star Trek film for people who aren't fans of Star Trek. And I'm like, okay, I could see how in your mind that sounded like a good thing to say, but, saying I'm going to make a Superman film, now I'm not saying he said this, but if his position is I'm going to make a Superman film for people who aren't fans of Superman, congratulations, Zack Snyder did that back in 2013. Again, I think that's why it brought a new generation of fans to Superman, because suddenly there was a Superman that was different and that some people could call their own. That did not launch a cavalcade of films that popped $1 billion a piece. But Warner Brothers doesn't seem to care. So, it's almost like they're going to do what they're going to do no matter what. So I guess we just have to judge it when it comes out. I just think Abrams is the wrong guy for this.
Fair enough. And then on the back of that, a couple of days later, a Variety had an article, I guess, jumping on the back of the recent Warner Brothers talk. DC properties like The Joker, Aquaman, and others in more recent times have done well at the box office, but it seems that Warner Brothers doesn't know what to do with Superman. According to the Variety article, they had a meeting with Michael B. Jordan, the actor who probably best known for Creed. I'm actually watching a Netflix series at the moment called was it Bringing Up Dion? Raising Dion, about a little kid who has superpowers, and Michael B. Jordan is actually the father in that Netflix series. It's not bad. You should give it check it out if you have Netflix. Anyway, they said they had a meeting with him about Superman, with Jordan supposedly pitching an idea or his vision for the character. But he says Jordan doesn't seem likely to be that worried about it, because it's not going to happen for several years, and he's got other projects in the pipeline, so he's not going to commit to that. Insiders think that a new Superman film is unlikely to hit screens before 2023, given that there's no script and no director.
Yeah, that sounds about right. They shouldn't rush it in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Every time they rush a Superman film, it goes poorly. I think. I honestly believe that both Superman 3 and Superman 4 needed a little more baking in terms of certain aspects of it. I just, the only problem I have with Michael B. Jordan being considered for the role is the racists that are going to come out because of it. It's like, I'm willing to hear the idea, and, if it's like maybe they want to do a Calvin Ellis type story, like, go completely off of the reservation and do something completely different and have it be a Superman film, not the Superman film, basically. But man, people are just going to be ugly, and I just don't need that right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is not playing the racist card at all, but it's obviously it's not what people would consider the Superman look. I mean, you could, and it's not black. It's not the black thing necessarily. I mean, you could get Danny DeVito, playing Superman, and it's just not the right look for Superman. It's not about his physique. Superman has a particular look, and we had that argument with Perry White. We've had that argument with Lois Lane. We've had that argument with Lana Lang, whether it be Superman Returns, whether it be Man of Steel, whether it be Smallville. There's been, even with Supergirl, with James Olsen, there have been those different versions that we wouldn't necessarily look at as iconic versions of the character. But, I would like to see somebody who looks like the comic book version of the character. That's not, like I said, it's not about skin color, it's just about appearance for me. The Calvin Ellis story might be interesting, but I just still want to see a classic Superman film that we haven't really had since, say, Superman 2.
Yeah, I've said this before. I've said actually the next two things before. One, if you're going to cast Michael B. Jordan and have him be the straight-ahead Superman, deal with it. Deal with everything that comes with that character having that skin color. Because if you're not, you're wasting an opportunity. If you're going to do it, go all the way. Don't candy coat it. Don't just put him in there because a young African American kid growing up in the Midwest is going to have a completely different experience than a young white kid, and that's just life in America. But also, if the idea is to do kind of a live action Into the Spider-Verse with a bunch of different, like a Superman Beyond film from the Final Crisis storyline, where you have Calvin Ellis and you have Superman and you have Captain Marvel, because you could bring, that movie did pretty well. Why not bring him into it and just have all of them like fighting a common foe? I think that could be really exciting. No, it doesn't give us the straight-ahead traditional Superman story, but I think it gets the foot in the door. Because if that does well, they'll do something else. The Into the Spider-Verse sequel is in production right now, so there's that.
As Justin says, brings up a funny comment in the thing. He says, as long as Crypto isn't played as a Chihuahua. That's... It's not far from the, a dog's a dog, but Crypto has a particular look, and everyone expects to see the type of dog that they've used in Titans as Crypto. Is that doggist? I don't know.
I think that would be more specious. More than anything else.
But look, it is what it is. We'll wait and see. John Patrick Van Pelt asked me, where did we get the 2023? That's just the year that sources have claimed as being the earliest we could see a Superman film. We're not saying that we will see a Superman film in 2023, but don't expect anything before then.
But rest assured, if they announce it, we'll be talking about every minute rumor in detail until something is certain, and then we'll talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. Now, speaking about films that we have seen, and the cape that I mentioned earlier, a Christopher Reeve Superman movie-worn cape is being sold at auction at julianslive.com next month. This is the bright red cape with the iconic yellow S symbol outlined in black, stitched to the back with red cloth ties at the neck, padding at top and 4 snaps inside. Was worn during Superman the movie. The cape is listed as part of the Icons and Idols Hollywood auction, which will go live at 10 a.m. Pacific time on Monday, December 16th, with a starting bid of $25,000, but it's expected to sell for between $100,000 and $200,000. Just some pocket change for you, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, I got a Uncle Scrooge money bin out back, so I'll go get a couple spoonfuls of that. And I mean, to be fair, I would not be opposed to owning some kind of piece of property like that, like memorabilia or like a cape or something, because it would be kind of nice. I don't know where I'd put it. I wouldn't wear it because that thing would drape, because I think Christopher Reeve is almost like a foot taller than me. So, but no, I mean, it's always cool when these things come up for sale. I am not in the tax bracket that for people who consider buying these things. So it's always just like this thing that's far away. Like I can't even fathom having the money to just drop on something like that at this point in my life.
So true. It's just crazy. Obviously, it's some big bucks out there if you've got it to splurge on something like this. Justin asks how many Christopher Reeve capes are out there. Well, in any movie they make duplicates. They have ones for flying, they have ones for walking, they have ones for different, underwater, whatever, different capes that they use. So this one was, I believe, part of a contest back in 1979. It was you could be a winner in a movie contest. Said that the actual cape worn by Christopher Reeve in the filming of Superman the movie was the first prize, and so all that's included with a copy of Superman number 331, which advertised the banner for that contest on the front cover. So all that's there in the description on our website and also at julianslive.com. What a contest!
Yeah, there was two of them. The first one was the grand prize was winning a cameo basically in the film, and two teenagers won, and they were part of the football team in Smallville. And then there was a second one that you're talking about. I think the first one was the trivia contest, and the second one you had to clip things out. But Christopher Reeve, for the first contest, came to the DC offices to pick out the winner. So
cool.
Yeah, it's like if you read this is the only downside to digital is not that they've reprinted a whole lot of Superman comics from that era, but they're not going to print, like, they don't print the letters pages or the back matter and stuff like that. So all that gets kind of lost to history.
Which is a shame, because some of those are fun to read, and some of the names that you see in those letter columns, kind of like, oh wow, some of the writers that went on to become part of DC Comics were writing letters to the editors back then.
Yeah, I mean, George R.R. Martin was a regular letter hack to Marvel in the 60s.
Wow. So. There you go. So yet we'll keep you appraised of just what does sell for when it goes under the hammer on Monday, December 16th. So keep an eye on that. All right, well, we move now to our regular monthly segments. We are on the last Tuesday of November, so we're going to get into the big question and the super secret soundbite segments. So let me play the intro for the big question segment of our show.
Let's start with the big question.
Okay, so the big question for last month was what, Michael?
How do you feel about the announcement that the CW is developing a Superman and Lois TV series? And the first one, I think, is me, if I'm reading this correctly. Kenny Crawley, I apologize for that, Kenny Jr. wrote, I have mixed feelings on this. On one hand, I'm happy Superman will have his own series again, but on the other hand, I wish that this was announced after the show renewals were announced.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you, Kenny. Appreciate you getting involved in the big question segment. Ron Crosby wrote in. He said, I don't dislike the CW Superman at all, but I've always hated how he was portrayed on Supergirl, basically brought in just to elevate her. I want Superman to be Earth's number one. Hopefully having his own show will fix this. I also hope that the CW doesn't ruin it by pushing a message. I feel comic book related stories should teach a certain sort of morality, but not so much that it's over the top and in your face. Oh, and fix the suit. No need for trunks, but no need for trunks, but no shoulder clasps. Here.
Stephen Marshall writes, I am incredibly excited. I've been trying to will this show into existence on social media for the longest time. To finally get an announcement that it's in development was a dream come true. Tyler Hoechlin's Superman is my favorite ever. It's favorite with a U, so Stephen's obviously from the UK or Australia. Ever in live action, and to see that this is going to have a family dynamic means the show will have a different feel to the other DC CW shows. I had to kind of say that slow because DC CW, that I could have screwed that up in a heartbeat. He says, bring it on.
Yes, thank you, Stephen. John Patrick Van Pelt wrote in. He says, I'm super excited about the announcement that the CW is developing a Superman and Lois TV series, because one thing I would like to see in this series is how they're going to raise the sun together and how long it will be before the sun starts having superpowers. Another thing I would like to see happen is to have guest appearances by Supergirl come on as a babysitter or nanny of some sort. Also wouldn't mind seeing Jonathan and Martha Kent on major holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas, but that will include also Lois's father Sam Lane and sister Lucy. Not some pretty good ideas there.
No, I'm pretty sure the Kents are dead because they weren't on the farm last year's, but maybe Crisis will mess all that up. Douglas Meacham wrote, I think it's swell. Douglas, there's not a lot of people in the world right now that are comfortable with that word, but some people find it kind of natural. I think it's swell that Superman will be flying across our TV screens again in his own live-action show. The last time that properly happened, a show with tights and flights, was over 25 years ago. I feel this generation has been longing for their own Superman show. We'll now finally get one.
Yes, thank you, Douglas. Good to hear from you. And lastly, Henry Bernstein wrote in. He says, I'm beyond thrilled. I've been saying since Hecklin's debut that it would happen eventually. I love Bitsy Chulok's portrayal of Lois. She's smart and funny and sassy and sweet. My wish list would be a new costume with no shoulder buckles and some trunks. And of course, a spit curl. I can't believe it's starting filming in March. I'm so excited. Thank you, Henry, and I agree with all your assessments right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, what's our new big question for this month, Michael?
Would you want J.J. Abrams involved in a new Superman movie?
Yes, we've discussed this earlier, had our thoughts on this. Now it's your turn to get involved in the new big question segment of our show. Head to the Superman homepage. Under the contact menu, you'll find the feedback form for the big question. So head there, let us know what you think, and we will read out the answers that we receive in the late December. I won't say the final week of December, probably be taking a break a little bit before that. But in late December, we'll be revisiting these segments, and we'll read out all the answers we receive when we get to that show.
To Amethyst's comment, swell is good if you're a Superman fan. Come on, Michael. Come on, I was referencing the Superman the movie.
He was quoting it directly.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the super secret soundbite segment of the show.
Only one thing alive with less than 4 legs can hear this frequency, Superman, and that's you.
All right, the super secret soundbite from last month's show came from Superman the movie, and let's hear it again to remind you of that sound.
Why is it I can't get it on with the good guys?
Yep, that was Miss Tessmacher asking Superman why she can't get it on with the good guys. And who guessed it right, Michael?
That would be Mike Zumo, Ron Crosby, Stephen Marshall, Lynn S. M. Is that how?
Yep.
Okay, Lynn S. M. Sorry. The way it split up on my screen, it looked a little weird. John Patrick Van Pelt and Douglas Meacham.
Well done to those people for guessing where in the world of Superman that sound came from. Let's see if those people and more, since that was so easy, let's see if more people can guess where in the world of Superman this new sound comes from. Here it comes.
Kal-El and I had a special bond, but you were the love of Clark Kent's life.
A little bit difficult, that one. See if you know where in the world of Superman that sound comes from. If you do, head to the Superman homepage website. Under the contact menu, you will find the super secret soundbite entry form. Send your entry in, and we will we'll read out the names of everyone who guesses it right when we come back to revisit these segments in late December.
Yep, I am very excited for that, and I'm also very excited that I did not miss a single cue this month. So hopefully I can continue that on, for next month.
Very good. All right, so let's stick with the television side of things, and an open casting call for 2 roles required for the upcoming Superman and Lois TV series were released this past weekend, and the announcement was sent out by Warner Brothers and the CW network, seeking 2 young teen actors to audition for series regular roles in the starting with the upcoming pilot. The two roles are described as both teenagers, 13 to 16. One's called Matthew, one's called Ethan. I'm guessing those names will probably change, or are probably just a kind of, a little bit of a secret code, because they don't want everybody knowing exactly who they are when the show actually does hit our screens. The first one is Matthew, who is well on his way to becoming a physical specimen, clean-cut, modest and kind-hearted, with an "oh shucks" attitude that somehow doesn't seem dated. A three-sport athlete who's already garnering attention from college and pro scouts. And the other one goes by the name of Ethan. I've just lost the casting information there. Young Leonardo DiCaprio, who it just disappeared on me. I'll get it in a second. Sorry about that. Leonardo, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So it's a young Leonardo DiCaprio who has an inherent darkness to him. Ethan's wildly intelligent, but his mercurial temperament and social anxiety limits his interactions with people, and consequently he spends most of his free time playing video games.
Yeah, I can't suss anything out from either one of those. I really can't. Maybe they're just friends of the kid, though it does kind of point to the fact that they're going to age the kid up, which, some people have problems with. I think you kind of have to do that for the show, though. I don't think they can have a baby. That just, I think, would
maybe for the pilot, and then the pilot kind of steps up in time, and we get those segments of now 5 years in the future, 10 years in the future, and then we get to current time. But some people are also suggesting that maybe these are for flashbacks. Although to be a series regular, a flashback wouldn't necessarily be true, because they do sound very much like a young Clark Kent and a young Lex Luthor. Although Lex is not the same age as Clark, as I believe.
Yeah, I honestly think that they're probably... One of those is either probably the kid, or they're friends of the kid, and that side of it is going to be just as important as Superman and Lois and their child. It's going to be, and I can kind of see why they would do that, because then you have kind of a younger audience to tune in for that, but then everyone's there for Superman. So again, we haven't gotten any kind of plot details, no synopsis, no anything. We're not going to get anything probably till after Crisis is completely over with, I would assume. Just because we don't know what's going to happen to the CW verse after the Crisis.
No.
I mean, I still hold to that, and hear me now and prove me wrong later. I am just completely and utterly convinced that the last shot of Part 3, before they go to the month-long break, is going to be everyone's going to die. Like, they're just going to wipe out everything. It's going to be like Crisis number 4, where Earth 1 and Earth 2 supposedly died. And then, because the Monitor is going to die. I don't have any direct evidence of this, but that's just what I think is going to happen.
Interesting. People, saying that the other kid could be Damian Wayne, and get the, whole Super Sons thing, but that doesn't sound like him playing video games. Doesn't sound like Damian Wayne to me. It just...
I mean, and from those descriptions, either one of those could be their son.
Yeah, true. He definitely could be recluse, or he could definitely be the all shucks, popular kid. Could go either way. And who was it in the comments here? The Comic Source said that Arrow in season 1 had plenty of flashbacks, so it could be flashing back to Clark's younger days. For the first season. I have my doubts, since it's called Superman and Lois, that they would spend a lot of time on Clark Kent's boyhood. We don't know where this is going, so we're all speculating. It's fun to do, but really until we know more after Crisis, we really don't know much at all.
We know enough to be dangerous.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, come back on the flip side, play some messages first, and then come back to talk about, more TV stuff, especially about Crisis on Infinite Earths, which I just noticed Michael has a poster of directly behind him.
Yep.
All right, back soon.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer. I'm the voice of Superman in Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
Faster than a bursting bubble, cleaner than a whistle. It's me, the Soaky Kid, with 2 brand new Soaky Fun Bath characters, Superman and Tennessee Tuxedo.
Tennessee, penguins can't fly.
I happen to be skydiving.
Without a parachute?
I knew I forgot something. Thanks, Superman. Look, 2 brand new Soaky toys.
Great stars, it's me, Superman.
And me, Tennessee Tuxedo. Time to wash up.
Up, and away!
Soaky soaks you clean in
Oceans full of fun.
scrubbly, bubbly, flippity, floppity.
Clean before you're done.
Soaky soaks you clean, and every girl and boy gets a toy. When it's empty, it's a toy.
This picture of the Soaky Kid proves we're real Soaky toys.
Bath time is fun with the new Soaky Superman and Tennessee Tuxedo. More fun than...
Always want to know what he said there. More fun then, and it gets cut off. So, yeah. Soaky toys. I don't think they're around still.
No. I mean, there's stuff kind of like them, but not those specifically. I can find them on eBay, though.
I think Rubber Duckies took over from Soaky Toys. All right. We do have a new Supergirl episode coming this Sunday night. Let's play the promo trailer from that to remind you about the upcoming new episode. Of course, it was a repeat of Season 5's first episode this past Sunday, which is why we're not talking about Supergirl. But here is the upcoming The Wrath of Ramakan promo.
We have to stop her. The safety of the world depends on it. You're making her sound like a Luthor. Maybe that's because she is one. The cannons are loaded with kryptonite. Rena, don't do this.
So, The Wrath of Ramakan will air at 9 p.m. on Sunday, December 1st. So make sure you check that out. It's the final episode of Supergirl for Season 5's mid-year section. And then we'll get the Crisis on Infinite Earths the following Sunday at 8 p.m. Part 1 is the Supergirl episode, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. We did get a official poster image for Crisis on Infinite Earths, which was a pretty cool looking poster there. I think we might have shown this before. If not, maybe not. People commenting, why is Batwoman so front and center? Well, actually the 5 main characters of the CW are there front and center. She just has to have the widest wingspan.
Yeah, I saw some people like, why isn't Superman more front and center? And it's one of those things where, like, I wouldn't say this to outsiders, because I kind of try to defend my own to the other side. But within the family, guys, come on. The people that are front and center have TV shows on the CW. Superman, as of yet, does not have a show on CW. Batwoman is in the back because you can spread out that cape and it looks pretty cool. But you got the Flash like really front and center, Arrow and Black Lightning and White Canary, if she still calls herself that, shows you how much I'm paying attention to Legends of Tomorrow, and Supergirl. I mean, it's perfectly appropriate for what they're doing.
Exactly.
If you would have put Batwoman in a corner, one, there probably would have been outcry. Two, would have been insulting to her. She's got her own series now, and it's really good.
So you have Superman, two Supermen up there. You've got Kingdom Come Superman. You've got Tyler Hoechlin Superman. You got Lex Luthor up there. Lois is up there. I think that's Lois. Maybe not.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. And then you've got also got your favorite, the Flash.
Yeah, you got the Flash, the John Wesley Shipp Flash.
Yes.
You've got John Constantine. Is that John Martian Manhunter?
Yes,
in the
behind Lex.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, he actually gets to be part of something for once.
And of course, we can't forget you got the Guardian, the Monitor. Sorry, at the top there.
Yeah.
It's the end of the worlds as we know it.
But I feel fine. Just letting everyone know that right now.
Yes. So Sunday, December 8th is part 1. December 9th, part 2. Tuesday, December 10th, part 3. And then we have the mid-season finale, hiatus, the break. And then part 4 and 5 will air both together back-to-back Tuesday, January 14th. So we also had a official promo. Or actually, let's go with the descriptions first. We've got descriptions for all 5 episodes, the first 3 episodes of the 5-part finale. And the Supergirl one is the first one up front. And we have part 1. The Monitor sends Harbinger to gather the world's greatest heroes: Supergirl, the Flash, Green Arrow, Batwoman, White Canary, the Atom, and Superman in preparation for the impending crisis. With the world in imminent danger, the superheroes suit up for battle while Jean and Alex recruit Lena to help them find a way to save the people of Earth 38.
Yeah, it sounds like that's mainly the big setup episode, which it's what you have to do. We've got a huge story to tell, so gathering your cast together is going to be important. And it actually makes sense because that's what that's what Lila did, the Harbinger did in the original Crisis. She split herself. I don't know if she's going to do it in the show. I am a couple weeks behind on Flash and Arrow, but yeah, I like that idea, and we're getting Superman sooner rather than later.
Then part 2 is the Batwoman episode, and the group uses Ray's invention to track new recruits to help save the universe. The Monitor sends Iris, Clark, and Lois in search of a mysterious Kryptonian, while Kate and Kara head out to find Bruce Wayne. In addition, Mia challenges Sarah, Rory discovers a hidden talent, and Lex Luthor returns. I'm guessing the mysterious Kryptonian might be Tom Welling's Clark.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that's what it is, and again, I think that this is going to be the extent of us seeing Tom Welling, unless there's something like right at the end, like a shot of them back on their Earth and everything's okay, basically. And I'm good with that. It's like it's funny that the second and third part are the ones that I'm looking forward to more than the first part, because I'm like, okay, so this is where we're going to get all the Supermen, which I guess again makes sense. It's Supergirl's show. It makes or is it Batwoman that's the second night, or
yes.
is it Supergirl?
No, Batwoman is second night.
That's right, because I was reading that the writers of the Batwoman episode also wrote for Smallville. So, you kind of at least know that the voices are going to be right for both Tom and for Erica.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know them personally, and I can call them by their first names.
Yeah, well, yes. You're good friends. Part 3 is the... is that the Arrow? I think it's the Arrow episode. Pariah enlists Black Lightning to help stop the Anti-Monitor after Flash 90 shares what he learned from his battle in Elseworlds. With the help of Black Lightning, Barry, Cisco, and Killer Frost come up with a plan that could save them all. Meanwhile, Iris has a heart-to-heart with Ryan Choi, while Oliver and Diggle return to an old familiar stomping ground. Ryan Choi.
It's going to be cool to get another Adam into it. And I wonder if he's taking over for Brandon Routh on Legends of Tomorrow after the Crisis is over, since the Crisis episode is going to be the last one for him.
Mm-hmm. Could be. That'd be interesting. I like the actor Osric Chow, I think is his name, who was on Supernatural for quite a while. He's a good actor.
Yeah, I never watched Supernatural. You would think with super in the name, maybe I would be. It's now like on season 50.
Yeah.
So
and catch up.
Is that an order? Am I going to have to start reviewing that too?
Well, are you doing a podcast about that now?
No, not Supernatural.
No. Oh, okay. No, that was Superman and Lois. Sorry.
Yeah. And that's going to be an interesting show, and it's I'm still kind of kicking around how I'm doing it. So.
Okay. We'll watch this space. So they are the 3 descriptions that we do have for the 3 parts that are airing this year, and then the final 2 parts will be in early 2020. We also have a promo trailer for the first trailer for Crisis. I'm sure there'll be a lot more. We had some teasers, but here is trailer number 1 for Crisis on Infinite Earths.
They're gone.
Every second, another Earth dies.
Let's go save the universe.
This threat brings the annihilation of all life.
Hope is the light that lifts us out of darkness.
Oliver! We might lose the planet, but we can still save the people.
It's not time! The battle is lost!
Crisis on Infinite Earths. The CW's crossover event begins Sunday, December 8th.
So there you have it. I'm going to kind of bring that up and just go through it bit by bit. What did you make of it first?
It's truly exciting. It's kind of what I wanted to see in the trailers. The other bits really didn't give us a whole lot, but with the way they're playing it out, the images they used, and you got to see Routh actually speak as Superman, which always makes me happy. I think it really kind of drives home the point of how important this is and how big this is. This is the biggest story they've ever told. So, and we got to see a little bit of I'm assuming they're on Argo, Superman and Lois, with that shot. But
where with the baby?
With the baby. They show Tom Welling, which is a really big deal for a lot of people. Smallville is still for an entire contingent of Superman fans, that is Superman. So actually having him come back, and he looks pretty good. Got a little gray in the hair, but so do I. So who am I to say anything on that? But I honestly think from that shot of Superman and Lois that it's going to be that when we see them for the first time, it's going to be on Argo, which kind of makes sense because that kind of looks like. I'm trying to remember the Argo scenes from season 3, but that background kind of looks like that.
Yeah, well, it doesn't. They've got drawers and tables and chairs and pot plants and things which are very earthy, but it does look otherworldly in the the backgrounds and the walls and the ceilings and that. Different.
It doesn't. I'm sorry. This doesn't look like Lois and Clark's apartment.
No, you're right. or the fortress.
But no, it's exciting. I am really looking forward to this. The whole build up to it has been a lot of fun. And people where I've seen on social media people complaining that they're showing us too much. I think with everything they've shown us, they haven't shown us everything, so the surprises are going to be that much bigger. But yeah, you're going to show Brandon Routh in the costume.
Yeah. and
That's
acting
your
very
sales.
much Superman in that. We also got a ton of photos for the Flash. Well, heaps of. Well, I've already shown the poster. We've seen heaps of photos and things from early episodes, which I think we showed last week. But here's some more from the part 3, or is it part 4? Anyway, these are more episode photos. Brandon Routh very much involved there in the Superman Kingdom Come costume. You got Tyler Hoechlin with the Monitor, and you've got more characters there in costume, looking like they're having a lot of fun there on set in what looks like the Legends ship.
Yeah, I haven't watched Legends in quite some time, but that does definitely look like the. It's really interesting seeing Brandon Routh in the Superman outfit with the rest of the superheroes. It's just does my cold black heart good.
We also had an interview with Erica Durant where she spoke about returning to play Lois Lane from the Smallville era in the Crisis crossover. She said that it's a little bit of a look into their future and the different choices they've made to be together. It's a full circle moment that's really nice. She also said that it was a bit bizarre. It felt like we hadn't missed a beat. It was just easy. It was like coming back in and working with family. It was a little bit bizarre because we went on somebody else's show, but we're in a set that we're familiar with, the farm and all those things. So it was very, very cool.
Yeah, I mean, that has to be fun. Unless you absolutely had a terrible time making the original show.
Yes.
But, it's been... Let's see, it's almost 20 years from the beginning of the original series for the first season, and we're coming up on, 10 years since it ended. So I guess enough time has passed and maybe all wounds have healed. But yeah, it's just... I'm really just interested in how much of it we're going to get to see. I've spoken that I'm a little worried that some of the stuff may be glossed over like John Wesley Shipp's Flash was, but obviously we're going to get to see more of him this time around, which makes me very happy. So, I don't know. I think the whole a mysterious Kryptonian possibly has to do with the fact that even though he became Superman at the very end of the series and you had the whole Superman season 11, I could definitely see him retiring or doing something else. So, or as people are suggesting, maybe he lost his powers, got exposed to gold kryptonite. Who knows? Who
knows? Could be very interesting to see. And it's only going to be a very small cameo appearance, I believe. Yeah. So don't hang your hat on seeing Tom in the costume.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
It's not going to happen, people. He was never interested in it. Let the man have his thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. The other area of TV news that we have is the fact that Titans: The Complete Second Season is coming to Blu-ray and DVD and digital on March. Wrong button there. March 2020, March 3rd, 2020. Here is the cover image for the Blu-ray, and you've got Superboy there, Connor Kent, on the left-hand side of the image of the cover there. This will be all 13 one-hour episodes. It'll also contain an extra special feature from the live-action drama series titled... what does it say what it's titled? I don't think it... Oh, yes. Jason Todd, Fate by the Fans, new featurette.
Yeah. Yeah, they did that disgusting thing where they actually had people vote whether to kill him off or not, which is just awful. Like, you can almost excuse DC for doing it back in 1988 because they were playing with a newfangled technology. They knew exactly what they were doing this time, so that was kind of disgusting to me.
Yes, indeed. All right, well, we're getting towards the end of the show, so we're going to push on and go to the comic book side of things, and I'm going to jump straight into what's available this week. So here is what Superman fans can look forward to this week. In the comic book side of things, we have Action Comics 1017 out this week, and that is available in this pretty cool, although dark looking variant cover, the Red Angry Eyes of Anger, whatever you guys say.
The Angry Red Eyes of Anger.
That's the one.
As I jokingly say.
We also have Supergirl Annual number 2, which really, from what I believe, is just a continuation of the current storyline, so it's really just another extra issue of Supergirl this month. We also have the Tales from the Dark Multiverse Infinite Crisis number 1 out this week, and it's an Infinite Crisis week because we have the Dollar Comics version of Infinite Crisis number 1 out this week as well. And then for Jim Lee fans, there is the Art of Jim Lee Volume 1 hardcover out this week as well. So that's what's available for Superman fans in the comic book world. Action Comics 1017 being the primary one.
Yeah, I'm sure it's really hard for Jim Lee to approve all these Jim Lee books.
Yeah.
That's I mean, that's just got to be a terrible decision to make.
Well, him and Dan Didio's like sit down and have a coffee. Oh, getting a bit short on cash. You think we could do another hardcover of some of my collection? Sure,
it's
no
a good
worries.
cover though. I like that image of the Trinity.
DC have been sending us quite a few advanced previews of pages from upcoming comic books, and this week they not only sent us some pages from Action Comics 1017, which the cover I just showed you there. I don't know why JR is back doing Superman stuff, God help us, but anyway, I'm not a big fan of his work, but we've got some comic book covers there, some comic book pages there of Action Comics 1017. We also got an advanced look at Action Comics 1018, which we've got some pages for that you can check out on our website. And then we've also got the cover for Action Comics 1019 and Action Comics 1020. So it looks like we have to deal with JR's artwork for another couple of months of Action Comics. I mean, look at the proportions on the figures. Like, seriously,
it's wrong. Superman, stop skipping leg day. You really just can't skip leg day because you look terrible. It looks like Superman needs something to eat in that one cover. So.
So there's some preview pages. We also got, and can you believe it, it's finally coming out, Doomsday number 12 is also, we've got some previews for that. There's the standard cover, and there is the variant cover, and we have some interior artwork from that DC sent us, and you can check out the battle between Superman and Dr. Manhattan, the final issue of Doomsday number 12 of the 12-issue series, which took like 7 years, it seems like, to come out. December 18th, available everywhere.
Yeah, whoever had December 2019 for the final issue of Doomsday Clock, collect your winnings at the door.
Yeah. All right, well, that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's show. Before we do sign off, I'd like to thank everyone for watching tonight's episode of WGBS TV Live. I want to thank everyone in the YouTube comments for participating in the show tonight. And to you, my co-host, Mr. Michael Bailey, thank you.
Pleasure as always, Steve.
Now, remember, we'll be back next week on December 3rd, Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time for another edition of WGBS TV Live. Look forward to talking to you then. Until then, be sure to make sure you check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. A huge thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. And remember, if you want to sponsor the Superman homepage and support everything we do, please head to patreon.com/Superman homepage. You can sponsor us for as little as $1. The complete 1 hour video of tonight's show will remain available on our website and our YouTube channel, so make sure you check that out if you've missed it in full or tuned in late. But as I said, we'll be back next Tuesday. So thank you on behalf of myself and Michael Bailey. Thanks for watching WGBS TV Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com.